This is the message that will be playing in the background as I play this game.
Check. Is this thing on? Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 modding tutorial. Today I'm going to teach you how to turn a human into a pony. As you can see, I've already done it with Marcy. And now I'm going to do it to June. But first, I'm going to customize my character so that I get an idea of what parts I need to use for June. I do this so that I can tell which parts I need to apply in order to get June to look the way I want him to. So I'll see you after I finish customizing him. Alright, this is what June will look like. Now the next step is to take every face part that I have adjusted and document the changes. So we're going to start with the hair. Check the style. In this case it is Cloud Chaser Dark, and I will document this so I don't forget. And now we need to document the color as well. The color is Azure Deep. And I'm going to be doing this for every head part. Important things you need to document are hair, eyes, skin, and miscellaneous stuff you decide to add, and if you are making edits to the body itself. Once you're done with that, go to body, see what sort of configurations you have. I recommend something simple so it's easier to calculate. They don't have numeric values for body morphs, so unfortunately you have to guesstimate what it is. For this one, I'm gonna set it as 60 thin, 40 large. That's all the edits you need to make. Once you have made all of them, you can feel free to leave the game as you have everything you need documented. You can also do makeup and blemishes and the like, extra decals. That's more of an advanced step. I can show you a little bit of what you would do, but I'm not going to cover it right now. Now it's on to the next step. We're going to open up Fallout 4 Edit. You gotta select none of them. I don't know why it selects all of them by default. We're going to go ahead and select Fallout 4. We're also going to select Crimes Against Nature, because we need some assets from those. I'm also going to select the Crimes Against Nature Pony main pack, because I have that installed, and I had it installed while I was customizing the character. So I'm going to have it there just in case. We're going to load it up. I'm using Fallout 4 because the NPC I wish to modify is a vanilla character. If you're using a DLC, you got to have that plugin pulled up so you can take the NPC from that plugin. We're going to go ahead and take Fallout 4.esm and look for the non-playable characters. We're going to sort it by name so it's easier to find. Here we have Jun Long. We're going to copy as an override into a new ESP. We'll click this one, make sure it's this one, it's an ESP flagged ESL, so it doesn't bring up complications. I'm going to call this one June the Pony. We're also going to get an asset from Crimes Against Nature, another non-player character, and we're going to take a preset. Depending on the gender of the character you wish to edit, you need to pick a preset that matches. Also got to make sure that it's the same race as what you're trying to convert the character to. In this case, we're trying to convert them into a pony, so we'll take a pony preset. And we can move that into the same ESP. Go ahead and click yes, it will add crimes against nature as a dependency. I'm also going to click Jun the pony and add a master to this one. You go down here, you see add masters, click it. We're going to check this marker to add pony main pack as a master. Quick note, this only applies to people who actually downloaded the main pack and used it to customize their characters. If you did not download this pack and run it in your game, you don't need it. We're going to take this, and here's an interesting trick that you should learn when modding. The reason we brought in pony preset male copy is we need this to be called by everything. It'll make editing a lot easier. You'll understand in a moment. So we're going to take this, we're going to change the editor ID to be Junlong. It's fine, you can have two entries with the same editor ID. Now for forum ID, we're going to right click this, we're going to change forum ID. And how it says FDB, we're going to change that to FDC. And now we're going to go ahead and take that ID and put it to this entry, the preset, so that the preset is being referenced by everything. And now it will be referenced by everything else. Should be safe to delete Junlong, the original one. And as you can notice, it is now technically an override of the Junlong entry from Fallout 4.esm. We have successfully made it into a pony, but now we have to make it so that the changes are only visual. We'll take the virtual machine here, some basic properties, we'll copy it over. We're going to take the object bounds, move that over, configuration. Basically anything needs to be copied over as long as it doesn't change looks. We're also going to copy clothes over, so there's that. Voice. We'll change that. This remains. This can get deleted. We can keep human race. And here we have the properties. We'll copy that over. Items. He has a weapon. And AI data. Move it over. The packages. Move it over. Keywords. Move it over. Class. Yeah, that's fine. Name. It's Yulong. Denom. We'll copy it over. And here we have head parts. We're actually not going to move this over. This is something that needs to be changed. It is why we reference the preset for the pony. And hair color, we'll keep that the same as well. And weight, we'll ignore this. We're going to have our own entries as well. Sound level, default outfit, move this over. Crime faction, move this over. Head texture, I don't think we should have this here as either. Texture lighting, we can move this over. Morph keys, we'll touch upon that later. Morph values, we're not going to modify these either. The face tinting. We're going to keep this the same as well, but this is also a complicated step. It's sort of complicated. We can keep that the same, and it looks like we're actually pretty much done with the transition. Alright, that's that step taken care of. If you haven't designed him how you want him to look using the player character, you can do that right now because you kind of need to. Here, I've already done that earlier, so we can go ahead and use these documentations of the design. The hair is Cloud Chaser, so we're going to go down here until we get to that part. Pony hair. This will be changed to Cloud Chaser dark. Yep. And the tail will follow the same editor ID format. So it will be Cloud Chaser A. The eyes, we have it set up so that it is no eyelashes young. Although I think technically that's a morph. This is the one. Actually, to make it easier, we're going to have them up side by side. This will make it easier to compare and contrast what needs to be added into here. And here we have hair color. We're going to change that. I'm going to make it match what it says on hair. It'll be whatever you documented when you customized your character you plan to have implemented on your NPC. For me, it's azure deep. And now we move on to the eyes. Here we have pony eyes set up here. Mine are bloodshot, rose, light deep. Now, an interesting thing about head parts is you can add a new entry, and this can refer to a wings, horns, or something like that. Let me just scroll down and show you how you can add a horn through here. Just have to get past all of these entries. It would be under extras. Eyebrows, eyeglass, lashes, hair. Here it is. Pony horn. You can also add wings here through the drop down menu, but I'm gonna just stick with the horn. Here we have sound levels, default outfits, head textures. Oh, wait. We need to reconfigure this. I'm gonna set mine to 0.6 and muscular is 0. You want all these variables to add up to 1. So however you do that, make sure it equals 1. And here we have the morph keys. We have some general morph keys variables. We have the ears. And this is how you decide what type of ears you give them. You can give them normal ears, fuzzy ears, crooked, fangs, and the like. I didn't really touch that. And the nose, you can make them masculine, forehead, and here's where eyes would come into play. If you did select eyelashes for your character, you can apply the changes here. Under eyes, these full, both, full, top, angled, medium, small, no eyelashes. Use some more of these. Stuff that makes them look older. These are calling upon a form ID number by the looks of it. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but that is something interesting to note. But there's that. I'm not going to change anything with that, but that's only because I did not make changes to the eyes. If you make changes to the eyes, make sure you pick the corresponding option. You might have to look a little bit. Morph values. I don't think I need to touch these. And face tinting layers. Oh, this one is remember this one is a pretty interesting one. Now with the skin tint, I set it up so that it is cyan, medium, medium. But that's not actually how you input the tint into here. You actually have to go into Crimes Against Nature and pick the color tab here. Drop down. And you go until you find the color you selected. I selected cyan, medium, medium. And right here, you check the color index, RGB alpha. Red 43, green 213, blue 213, and alpha. We don't really use alpha because that's kind of a non-factor. So I'm going to add to this documentation 43, 213, 213. It will be whatever this number is for you, with whatever color you decide to select for your character. You don't have to copy everything I do to the letter. You kind of should exercise your freedom to create the character how you want him to. I'm just showing you generally how to get it done. Now we go back to Junlong, go all the way down here, face tinting layers. And here we have these variables. So for me, just type it back in, 43, 213, and 213. I don't know about temperature color index, I changed it by mistake, but I have a feeling that's not actually important. I'll get back to you on that if that is. Face tinting layer is also where you put all the skin blemishes that go on the face. Let's add another one and show you what it is. You're going to have to choose between value or color. Depending on how the marking is factored, you're going to either pick value or color. For this one, we pick value. If you wanted to do something like a scar, you can select these regions. We got damages, scar left long. You could also do all these other ones, markings, tattoos, face paint, and makeup and the like. We'll stick with a scar. And if you wanted to actually show up in game, you have to set this value to 1. You can set it to a lower value if you don't want it to be as intense, but that is something you would be calculating within the customizer for your character. This is a data you would have stored if you mess with it. And we're actually not going to add this. This is more of an afterthought because I didn't have this in the original clip. Body morphs, you don't touch that. Face morphs. I haven't actually gone over face morphs. It's a kind of complicated thing. There aren't clearly defined numeric sliders for you. They decide to go with something more hands-on for beginners at customizations and stuff. So it would be a lot of customizations, so I recommend a different program of sorts to get it done, but for everything else, this xEdit works well enough. Before we're ready to save, we're actually going to click on the new ESP that our edits are going in. We're going to clean masters. It will remove all unused masters. This is useful in case you have the pony main pack but you didn't actually use any of the assets. We're going to clean that right now. We're going to view it again. Oh, would you look at that? I didn't actually need the pony main pack. But it's good to have anyways because some people do need the pony main pack. If they have it on their system and they were customizing their character with it, it's good to have it as a dependency in the meantime, but now we don't need it. Now, these should be all the edits applying to June the Pony. So, we're going to save the ESP and enable it here. Now we will see what it looks like in game. Okay, I think I did something wrong here. Maybe those weird numbers at the bottom of the RGB tab for the skin has something to do with it. I'm gonna check that real quick. Gonna change the template color index to -1 and see if that fixes the problem. Alright, looks like that fixed the problem. So you have to have the skin reference property set to -1. And that's how you turn someone into a pony. If you like this tutorial, good. Glad it could be of use to someone. Anyways, this is Timberjack, signing out.
Since I didn't want to go through the trouble of making an entire song, it's just an audio recording. By the way, this thing repeats itself.